Hey everybody, this is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. I'm Tyler Lamb. That whispering voice you heard over the mic was Steve Janik, one of my co-hosts. Steve, how's it going?
Hey, I was making sure our guest's microphone was on.
Yeah. Guest of honor. Actually.
Guest of honors. I apologize. Guest of honor's microphone. I feel like every cast, I'm just the guest, and then now Sam is the guest of honor.
Well, I mean, you do have those weird like vampire rules about you, where you have to tell you to like invite you in. Yeah. So that's why you always feel like a guest, because you just stand outside screaming, "Invite me already!"
That's just common courtesy.
Oh, I thought he likes being treated like a vampire.
I enjoy garlic way too much for that, to be completely honest.
Yeah, but
and getting stabbed Steve, in the chest with a wooden stake.
We can tell, and we've been meaning to talk to you about that. You need to stop sweating so much while we're recording, because it's pungent.
And those stakes that you carry around are real distracting. And I'm here with Charlie Pixley as well. Charlie, what's up, Chuck?
Well, I'm a little worried that I have to sit next to Steve now.
And then, we have kind of just in the background, floating around our table, is Sam Pixley.
Yes, like I'm some sort of ghoul. It's just kind of floating around.
Well, yeah. I mean, are you not? I thought you started haunting this podcast, and you just
what is with
you are dead inside.
Every couple months, you would just come out and
rattle your chain. I don't know where this is going.
I feel like I'm here in the month of October, and we're doing like a Halloween special, but it's definitely March, and I'm definitely confused.
No, we're saving this one for October.
Yeah. We got to put a couple in the can for the future. So Sam Pixley of being Charlie's older brother fame.
It's actually how Charlie introduces himself. I'm Charlie Pixley, younger brother.
Nobody's gonna make a gross sleep your way to the top joke.
I don't think we have to. And besides, I mean, it's not as funny when you make jokes about something that's explicitly true.
Yeah.
Then you're just referencing a fact. And Sam also from Post Three Wise and Nerd Word fame. I know that.
And you were on This Film Was Lit recently, right? A while back.
All of our fans are probably that deep cut of Nerd Word. Like they were just it really carried over all of your fans from.
Guys, big surprise! It's actually going to be coming back. Never. It's
You might want to talk a little bit closer to the mic there.
I was holding my breath.
Spectral coolness.
Oh, it's an airy talking.
Did anybody say anything? Is anybody actually there?
Fade it back and forth from left to right and really fuck with them, dude.
No, I was just making a joke. I don't think that we have fans, so
we got a couple.
And on this is a prequel episode, so on this episode, I will be assigning the movies.
I'm glad you remembered, to be completely honest.
I almost forgot. We also have, because I was texting you guys about stuff, and I was like, hey, somebody should assign these. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm the one assigning movies. Never mind.
So I'll assign these.
Also, I don't know if we haven't really done much pre-talk before this. Do we have anything, you guys bring anything to the table content-wise for Steve? I know you view stuff.
Yeah, I've been real busy this last week, so I do not have anything.
Well, so you're not going to go over your flashcards for that you've been studying?
No.
Okay.
I don't think anyone here cares about immunosuppression medication.
I'm glad that
for transplants.
I'm glad that it exists, but I just don't want to know about it.
Yeah, this is not the format for this sort of information.
Charlie, have you even turned on your TV? I doubt it.
Yeah, I did see a movie,
cereal
but I was gonna. Yeah, I have. But there's a really good blueberry pancake Captain Crunch that's out that tastes pretty great.
I actually do. I saw Black Panther.
Finally,
I saw it a couple weeks ago, I think, at this point. But I was waiting to talk about it on a prequel. What movie did you see, Charlie?
Spider-Man. Finally.
Oh, there we go.
I'll get into it later.
So these hot takes,
real on the pulse side
so fresh
today.
So, and then we'll have stuff we actually like and some movie news. I thought Charlie...
Movie what?
Movie...
News.
Okay, there we go. So, if we just go straight in here to, I guess, the movies that I'm going to assign, no surprises here. Charlie, I feel like this is.
I don't remember what you texted.
I actually think this is gonna.
It will be a surprise.
This is gonna be an interesting one because both of these are movies that I do have interest in seeing, and I think that the person I'm assigning it to, it'll fit for you guys. Like you guys will be able to bring your knowledge of what I like specifically about this topic, I guess, and how I sum it up. Charlie, you're gonna go see Pacific Rim.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Uprising, I believe, is the subtitle.
Yes.
And Steve, you're gonna see Tomb Raider.
Oh, nice.
Shit.
So yeah,
this doesn't seem to follow the format of this show very much.
Well, hey, these are both movies that are under 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that is the caveat.
I guess that's fair. It does seem like a little you're abusing your power to put your feelers out.
Well, no, I'm actually kind of upset about it because I want to
see him now for a while.
Because that was the original text in the group was like, hey, should we all go see one of these movies before we record? And I was like, oh wait, maybe somebody could assign them. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm assigning, so I don't get to see these movies.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But yeah, I really liked the first Pacific Rim. It was a lot of fun.
I agree.
And so. There's interest, and these are the kind of movies where there's interest enough that I want to see it, but I'm not expecting a whole lot.
Right.
So like Tomb Raider, Steve, you know, because we used to do a radio show about the time that the remake of the Tomb Raider games came out.
I playing it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the new Tomb Raider game, and so this movie seems to take a lot from that.
And I'm going to do nothing but talk about Walton Goggins.
That's right. And so at least we'll all be.
I know where your heart is.
Yeah, and it's in Walton Goggins' hands.
That's incredible.
I know, just like him. It's incredible that a man that looks like Walton Goggins is more interesting on a show starring Timothy Olyphant, who is just a ravishing man. Sam, you talk about Timothy Olyphant's good looks a lot. Do you have anything to add?
Do I?
Well, you always come
He's
over.
no Josh Duhamel, though.
I just get texts from you constantly, and the first thing you typically say to me in conversation is you try to start an I am number 4 dialogue.
Oh, sure.
Because you always want to.
I do send you texts like T.O.'s back in the news.
I am number 4 too. I am number 5.
I'm just waiting for that confirmation. I think he's very talented. I never watched Justified.
Which is what people
really
who
good.
like Timothy Olyphant are just like obsessed with that show.
Yeah.
Well, he that's the one thing that Sam doesn't watch. He watches Mother's Day.
He just constantly watches Hitman.
Yeah,
it's that and Live Free or Die Hard on loop. No, it's a little bit of it's all the different things. Flying too close to the sun, too much of a good thing. If I can't watch a show with just him,
I really get him confused with Josh Duhamel. Which one does the Taco Bell fries commercial?
Josh Duhamel.
Okay. They look so similar to me.
Josh Duhamel is more classically handsome.
Wait.
Whereas Timothy Olyphant is more talented.
The Taco Bell fry commercial, dude. That's Doug Jones. he plays the
fries. Yeah, I could tell that.
He's versatile.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and there was some confusion though because of his work with McDonald's in the early days when he played the moon faced man playing the piano.
Wow, that's an old one.
It's also true.
And it's fucked up too. Like it's the second time it's happened to him, where then they actually got somebody else to do the voiceover for the fries.
So yeah, Charlie, Pacific Rim Uprising.
I'm pretty pumped.
So in this movie, I guess I'll ask the questions then. I'm not gonna ask it now. Yeah. So I knew that you would be a good pick for that because of our shared joy for the first Pacific Rim.
And me saying that I'm pumped isn't like, man, I know this movie's gonna be great. It's more like, all right, I was planning on seeing this anyway, and I've seen a lot worse movies already that I know for sure. This, so.
And I legitimately think that you can both weave a compelling argument for your movie because of what you guys know about what I like about the source material. Yeah. Well, yeah, the source material for both. So the original Pacific Rim and the Tomb Raider games.
I'm going to do nothing but talk about how large and pixelated her boobs are.
Oh, man, he already knows the secret.
I'm quite confident these movies will be very different. I think that Pacific Rim will be very disappointing.
Gritty.
And Tomb Raider will be very
too
underwhelming.
Fantastical.
Yeah, I
so
think...
a perfect match.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Match made in hell.
So... with that being said, I will try to pull up these trailers for us all to watch, even though this is very awkward because of our seating arrangements, because Sam ruins everything.
You don't have to see them.
And
we don't have to.
I mean, I've seen both of these trailers quite frequently, actually, so...
All right, brag more, jeez.
No, yes, fine. And I will.
All right,
I see many trailers.
We'll watch these. We'll watch these trailers. Ooh, John Boyega.
I wish Nick Frost would have played Tomb Raider with the same clothing, though.
And if it was just a sequel, a continuation of.
So it's not it's not called Lara Croft Tomb Raider, but it's Lara Croft and the Tomb Raider. It is her with Nick Frost as the Tomb Raider.
No, he plays Lara Croft.
Oh, fair enough.
The Tomb Raider.
So those trailers were for being about two different topics were surprisingly similar.
Just different skins.
Yeah.
I mean, action movies. Like,
My dad.
Pacing is.
There you go.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I just am so used to more men leading action films
that you feel uncomfortable when you.
Yes, it's wrong and it shouldn't happen. No, I felt like.
We'll wrap up the podcast
in the
on
trailers, because I feel like there was a little bit of overkill with Laura. Anytime she did anything, I had to go. It was like a women's tennis match.
Damn it! I was gonna make that.
Like, what just happened? Oh, she loaded a weapon. Oh, she looks great in the role, but I just felt like they really like every time they happen. Like, let's get that audio up.
Scott Eastwood did that a lot in mine, though, too.
Scott Eastwood was in there?
I'm pretty sure Scott Eastwood was like, what are we going to do?
Yeah. Scott Eastwood is one of those guys
Nightwing in this.
He's one of those guys whenever somebody is like, oh yeah, and Scott Eastwood was pretty good, I go, he was in that? I never recognize him.
He's that good.
So
he just sinks into the role.
He's just not able to break out.
Yeah,
like he's just always in the background. In like,
well, you remember when he was like the lead of Suicide Squad?
Yeah, he was Nightwing, dude. Remember Undercover Dick Grayson?
He is just like
he's just that undercover.
Wait, who are you guys referring to?
Scott Eastwood. Dude.
I don't know who that is.
Exactly. It's Clint Eastwood's son.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I figured that.
I mean, and it was like a huge deal that he was going to be in Suicide Squad. He was even in like a cast photo that they released.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he has a line in the movie.
He does. It's like,
oh, he does?
Oh shit, man, these guys are coming. Or something like that.
Like
when
he's
those little
one of the
zombie things
troopers
are
with yeah, and you see him like once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He, like you said, he just sinks into the role. What a great actor.
You mean into the background?
Yeah, yeah. He just seems like he's part of the set.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what a great set piece he is.
Yeah. So those two movies both featured a slow-mo limbo type action shot of a thing going over somebody and it going boom.
I mean,
and
it does answer the ever-present question of how low can you?
And it did do that thing that we talked about with the Death Race or Death Cure trailer, where they do those weird like edits to the gunshots,
that
like to the beat. Yeah, like I mean, because even in that Tomb Raider trailer, the audio, the Foley work for the gunshots didn't seem to really even match like what those guns would sound like. You know what I mean? Correct. Like it was like just ding 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 ding.
Because she was holding a revolver.
Yeah. She wasn't even. Yeah, no, she was shooting a P90.
Let's just keep in mind, though, backtracking a second, that the sound effect of boom really does fit in with the limbo situation.
Yeah.
Think of an alternative if, say, like, something's going under
slide whistle,
and there's a jump. As opposed
the old
to
slide whistle.
I can't whistle, so I can't make that noise.
You don't have to whistle.
Yeah, we didn't.
How does it go?
That's not a whistle.
That's
I guess
better.
you could do that.
Yeah, more talented than I am.
Yeah, we know. Why do you think we have him on instead of you? Why do you think you're the ghost haunting the podcast?
Yeah.
It's out of revenge.
Yep. Old past my prime.
Well, this has been the nice last appearance of you, Sam. I expect you will never talk to us again.
No, I kid.
Signing
Sam,
off.
I love you. You're amazing.
I like to think I'm the Scott Eastwood of this podcast.
Which is why we never hear from you for like 8 episodes.
Damn right. Joke's on you. I've actually been here. Just have not been given any lines.
Oh, so that was you. You're right. Now that I'm thinking about it. So if we move on from those movies, again, Charlie Sea and Pacific Rim Uprising, which honestly I noticed that there's no colon in that title, which is kind of interesting, that it's just all one word. It's Pacific Rim Uprising. It's not Pacific Rim Uprising. You know, like, I don't know, that's just
it's a game changer.
And then you know, they're really
pushing the limits of titles.
They're breaking barriers and glass ceilings as well.
Sure.
Cuz John Boyega, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's
They did just
I don't know.
They did just directly steal from Transformers, which is my biggest concern for this, is it's robots fighting robots and it's Transformers. But at
with
that
monsters,
last scene, the robot's hand changed into a gun and it goes like. Wah, 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 wah,
I don't think it was a gun. I don't know what it was doing.
That's the
It kind
little
of looked like a
pulse
jet.
cannon that
Oh, I
uses
thought it was like a jetpack.
That's
but it was
like
on his hand. It's not where I would put a jetpack.
No, it's the same. It's the same gun thing that he had in the first one.
So wait, if it wasn't a jetpack, how is it melting all those steel beams?
Yeah, true.
You gotta check.
And also, why would he just be shooting it out in space, looking at the camera, being all meta?
Because there's probably an animal or something, some kind of creature.
Yeah, it was weird that he winked.
The rift is now not in the Pacific Rim; it's now in space.
Yeah.
And when he winked, it did that
It's
slow mo sound
This
again.
movie's actually called Andromeda Rim.
It's Pacific Rim Uprising. So it's up.
See, Sam's got all the answers.
Thanks, man.
So is Charlie?
Why aren't you here more often?
Is Charlie Hunnam gonna narrate the beginning? Is he gonna say like, "High above the Pacific Ocean is a space rim"?
No, it's once a year they pass the actual rim.
Okay. I will point out, I did like how there was a giant kaiju skeleton in like the yard of his house. Yeah. Like, it completely decomposed and was just bones in the time
I'm sure there was like someone who did that for them. Like,
oh yeah, it was probably Ron Perlman.
That's
honestly.
exactly what I was thinking.
Ron goddamn
He
Perlman.
dissolved the rest of the kaiju from around him.
Can we just address with Tomb Raider though the classic? If you're watching this, I'm super dead. But I'm just gonna push the plot along a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, I love you. See ya.
I love those. Because
how else am I gonna cry in this film?
I could probably think of a few ways.
Also, dude, she's so talented. They gave her that thing, and she twisted it, and the key came out. Like, holy hell.
Dude,
there's no way I could rate
a lot like her father.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I'm sure there's a little bit more to that puzzle that we're not seeing.
But surely
probably.
Nope, trailers never lie.
So moving on, I guess I'll bring up Black Panther for a little bit. Might as well. Saw it. I liked it a lot.
Awesome.
And moving on from there.
Charlie, have you seen it?
No, not yet.
No,
that's why I saw Spider-Man, so I can try and catch
Marvel
this.
movie?
I don't. I still
have to watch those two in order, but yeah.
I think Winter Soldier is still the best Marvel movie, personally.
Yeah,
Black Panther is a second for me, though. And but at the same time, like, I think I said this to somebody, and they took it as like, oh, well, then that sounds like it's shit. But it's one of the best Marvel movies, but it's probably the worst Ryan Coogler movie I've seen. Like, if somebody said, hey, I heard about this Ryan Coogler guy who's a director, what movie should I watch? This would be the last recommendation on the list. Like, I mean, Fruitvale Station and Creed would be. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, no, that means that this motherfucker's a great director, that he can make one of the best.
He's very consistent.
Yeah, I mean, Creed is way too good. Like, way better than it has any right to be.
Dude,
I really like
Clay is my favorite album.
I know. It blew me away. And I spent my entire life hoping that there would be
arms wide open.
Yeah, my arms were wide open, and I mean, since it never, now it's impossible for this the duo of a Creed Linkin Park album to happen. I'm 6 feet from the edge.
It's the lowest hanging fruit.
Have you? So clearly, you've never.
That fruit had fallen off the tree and was just on the ground.
Yeah, it's kind of got that sickly, rotten, sweet taste to it.
I'm not climbing any trees here, Sam.
You know what? Nor would I expect anything more.
Hey, when a banana gets very rotten, that's when you can make banana bread with it. That's good.
Bam.
Don't know what that means.
You can let a banana get black, and then you can make banana bread with it.
It means it means expect nothing more from us.
Perfect.
Oh, okay. So I thought I could take
said expect nothing more. Cut the cast now.
And yeah, I really liked it. I mean, Michael B. Jordan is hard not to like either in a role. Like, he's so good.
Especially the Human Torch. His turn as the Human Torch.
Hey, honestly, he was probably the best part of that movie. Like, that movie was a train wreck but he was still likable. It was interesting to see Daniel Kaluuya, the guy from Get Out, and he was also in an episode of Black Mirror.
Sure.
Early on, it was interesting to see him play he was kind of like a bad-ish guy. Have you seen it, Sam?
What, Black Panther?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was interesting to see him not play, I don't know, like an actor like that who is kind of blown up now, still like changing the kind of roles they're playing.
Can we talk about some mild spoilers or no?
Of Black Panther?
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't seen it, so I
just told off.
No, I was gonna bring up that you told me that sounded super good. That makes me can't.
Yeah, that was
so
the worst
excited.
part of the worst part of the movie, hands down, was when they did a "What are those" joke. The Black Panther comes out of a meeting and she's like, "What are those?" And I was like,
sandals.
Jesus fucking Christ! Like that meme is already like 3 years old when you filmed this scene.
It was one of the YouTube Paul brothers actually came in for a guest editorial.
Yeah, and they fucking dabbed. Multiple times.
That show would have been fucking funny then, though. Really,
I thought Michael B. Jordan was really good, and I get that there's a different kind of emotion and everything that's brought out of that character.
Yeah,
but when everybody's like, he's just like a character we've never seen before, I'm like, no, he's Magneto.
Yeah,
like this is just Magneto and Xavier.
I think that
with some different implications.
I didn't know he had powers.
Oh yeah,
I think that he definitely had one of like a clearer motivation than most Marvel villains that we've seen in the MCU. If that makes sense, like he had a motivation.
Yes, he didn't just go crazy halfway through.
Yeah, he had a motivation where he said all of his things, and I was like, he has a point. Like everything he's saying, until he said one thing that. Mild spoilers. He takes earlier in the movie. He has like a little scar, and he's like, "Oh, I have a scar for each kill I've gotten."
Yes.
And he takes off his shirt, and then he's got tons.
Oh, that's what all those little bumps are, or something.
Yeah, and he says the line to Black Panther. He says that you don't know how many people I've killed to get here. And I was like,
we
well,
could
that's
literally
a little.
We could literally count that.
Well, no, I was like, well, that's a little hypocritical because part of your whole motivation is revenge on Black Panther for killing someone, and you just admitted how you've killed multiple people.
It's just about the cycle of violence.
Yeah, well then I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, that's stupid. But then I was like, oh wait, but he's a crazy villain. So at least he has like one like thing that is.
Sure, it wasn't because Black Panther didn't meet him at the rooftop of a hotel to discuss business plans?
I think that might have been like a light motivation.
Okay.
But
surely not enough to cause you to want to kill someone.
Yeah, no, I mean, that'd be ridiculous.
But as long as we're all on the same page that his character was good and really good for a Marvel movie, but not a new...
Right.
No,
this is not a new thing.
Not new. And
I just thought it was good because it kind of developed T'Challa as well. Because the points that he made him reevaluate like what he's been told to do with his life.
Yeah, and as king and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I found myself getting really interested in Wakanda itself. Like
Yes.
I wanted to know more about Wakanda, even though it was already pretty Wakanda heavy. But I was like, what do these people do every day?
Like
what do they do for work? Like obviously they have miners because they talk about mining the.
What throws me off is like how do they like what's going on in the fact that other people don't know what they're doing, which I think is what you're trying to say. It's like there's this weird dichotomy of like what they pretend to be to the world and like what they're actually doing.
I just love there's a bit in the end. I guess it doesn't really go into. Well, I guess it kind of does go into spoilers.
Okay.
So I told it, but with like the UN is asking him a question, and they're like. So essentially, an interviewer, reporter, or something basically is like, "What's your garbage hole country going to do for us?" I was like, "Who was asking? Who would ask that question?"
Yeah, that's right. Somebody's like, "So your shithole country?
You guys make yarn? What are you going to do for us? The best country?" I was like, "All right, this is a little bit of a stretch here."
Well, the only problem was that was also
And
like
everybody's
kind
like-
of a bullshit.
Everybody's nodding
like
their head when-
post-credit scene is like that kind of should have been in the movie.
Yeah, well, it was just like because then you get the scene
well-
like everybody looks at each other. It's like,
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, it's kind of like the stinger of Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I'm Iron Man. Except for them, they're like,
And
we
then-
are drastically
Yeah, I never really got.
more
I never really.
powered than you guys think we are.
I never really got the ending to Iron Man because after he says that, then people start standing up going, "I'm Iron Man." No, I'm Iron Man, and I was like, "What? I don't."
I think you did a really good job there.
No, they're saying I am Sam.
Okay. but yeah, I really liked it. I was kind of disappointed that, and I mean, yeah, we're talking spoilers. I guess it's long enough. It's been out, whatever. That they kind of killed off all of the characters that I liked, that I thought were the most interesting and wanted to see more of in the future.
Are you talking about how they?
Martin Freeman.
Is he dead?
No.
You don't see him ever again in the movie?
No, he's alive.
How?
Because I'm pretty sure he's one of the guys in the press conference scene that's like.
I didn't see him.
These guys don't know.
If he is, then I mean, then that could be true, but I don't remember him showing up again.
No, he is.
I'll let you know.
He starts to like leave. He's like, "You got to get out now," and he like gets up out of the seat, and then it just cuts to a shot of that whole room exploding.
No, he
and
definitely gets out.
And it never goes. Okay, I mean, if I could,
I think so.
Everybody
he's one of the guys.
No, everybody I've talked to, they're like, "Wait, he didn't die, did he?" I'm like, I think it was very unceremoniously, but they don't show him again, as far as I remember.
Was Andy Serkis good?
Yeah, he was, and that's another character that they kill him off.
Wow, thanks, dude.
Sorry, bro.
Kidding, it's fine.
But that was
I thought that like made sense.
No, it made sense, but it was one of those that I was just kind of like, oh man, like he was in Age of Ultron. That was a shitty movie for like a little while. I
liked his character.
Yeah, I like his character.
Movies.
I like that's what I'm saying. I like his character a lot. I would have liked to see him be more in the background, like kind of like how they've built Loki up over these years. I would have liked to see another villain, kind of be in the background of
but
stuff.
With the way that they played him off, like there was at this point with the escalation of this, like this all starting to come to an end or whatever. Like there's only so much you can do with him. He is just a thief.
No,
but it also makes sense that
with a funky arm.
It also makes sense that Killmonger would want to kill him based on what he's done in the past.
Yeah.
So like the whole point is that like he was using him to like get the knowledge that he didn't have because he wasn't actually connected to Wakanda.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, now that you've gotten me where I need to be, I'm now killing you because of what you've done to Wakanda.
I think that it did make sense and it did work for the movie, but it was still one of those things where I was like, oh man.
I was disappointed. Yeah, I was like, oh shucks.
I mean, he could have pulled off his laser arm and used it to explode and then gotten away. I would have been okay with that. Like Killmonger's going after him and he like, oh, I gotta get rid of this to try and get away.
Predator arms it.
Yeah. I'd be down with that.
But yeah, it was a really good Marvel movie. Definitely up there, number 2, I would say. Charlie,
so top 2.
Yeah, top 2. Charlie,
but not top 1.
In more recent news, let's talk Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming. I heard you have some hot takes, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much about the movie, you know. So when I picked it up from Redbox.
And guys, Donald Glover's in this movie.
Yeah, it's like
the show.
I guess half asleep throughout the entire thing.
Performance is a Birdman.
Yes. Oh shit, dude! Nobody's ever made that observation before.
We're hitting a lot of really good jokes here.
If we're talking about Spider-Man: Homecoming now, I get to make that joke.
I was just fucking with it.
What'd you think, Chuck? Everybody's been on the edge of their seats for months waiting for you.
Okay, so I was far enough removed, I think, from seeing almost any Marvel movie. The last one I had seen was Thor, I guess, but even that feels like, I mean, what was it? When did that come out?
That came out
December?
5 months ago, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
it was early November.
It came out after Spider-Man: Homecoming.
But I think it was early November.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see it, and I just hadn't seen any of them in a while, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. There were some things in it that I didn't like, but for the most part, very enjoyable. Lots of good humor in it, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was talking to Sam about it. I didn't really like Zendaya's character, Zendaya. I thought they made her too unlikable until just like the very end, and even then they didn't make her likable. Which is fine to make somebody that's not supposed to be liked, but even her jokes
she wasn't really a heavy hitter. She was kind of a back player. She's a real Scott Eastwood of the movie. Really.
Yeah. But each time she made a joke, she's like, okay. It's just like Buzz Killington, but also you're a dick.
She's kind of just like, maybe not the Han Solo, but just like showing up every once in a while and being like, this is really dumb.
Yeah.
It was like, but you're not doing it in a charming way. You're just sitting there. You're just like some punk kid in a hoodie being like, this all
you
sucks.
guys are pieces of shit.
Like, yeah, you guys
See
suck.
And did you?
What do you do? Why? Why are you here then?
Well, first off, I will say that I personally, it probably has really good humor because it was co-written by Chris McKenna of Community fame.
Sure.
So.
No, yeah, it was very funny.
We all make mistakes.
There was lots of...
You take that back.
I really enjoyed it. And the one thing that surprised me the most, because anybody that knows me knows that I get pretty sick of the Robert Downey Jr. show. Mm-hmm. I actually was a fan of him in this. I think it's because it had been so long since I had seen him in that role that I wasn't so like, oh, here we go again.
But also, I thought like his character, like he wasn't a smarmy guy most of the time. Like that scene where he's like, yeah, you told me about it, and this is me taking care of it. Like, I don't get what the problem here is.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it again. It's like, I remember this is why I liked this the first time it happened.
I remember one thing that I really didn't. I found annoying. It's the trope, and I brought it up when I first saw it on the podcast. The whole when he finds out that Michael Keaton's the Vulture, and it's that whole like, act natural. I'm not Spider-Man. I swear.
Does he know that
did I say Spider-Man? Oh no.
My name's Spider. I mean, Peter.
Yeah, it's like Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like.
The thing that saves that though is that Michael Keaton is the jam.
Oh yeah, no, Michael Keaton was great. And I feel like I said something about how he talks also. I don't remember what exactly. I'll have to see a Michael Keaton movie again. But he squints. He does the squint a lot. That's right. He like looks when he like looks at something. He does the old man.
Well, it's the fear that actually came true, I believe, in American Assassin, is that at any point in time,
Taylor Kitsch could come in and steal the show.
Or Michael Keaton will snarl and bite you. Like if you were to get close enough.
So you actually saw American Assassin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a good movie. But like at any point in time when he's like in that car and he leans back and is talking to Peter, I feel like if Peter leaned forward, he could be and you'd be like, yeah.
Like you would not be surprised.
Sorry, you look like Vander Holdenfield to me. But yeah,
so I liked it, and I was happy that I got to see it, and like, I actually enjoyed this
for $1
thoroughly. $2 Blu-ray, baby.
Fuck.
But now I'll go see Black Panther, so I'll be all caught up.
Steve, have you watched Get Out yet? Because I let you borrow it. Oh, you piece of shit! Just give it back to me.
Spooky, man.
So moving on.
I'll watch it after Tuesday because I have a big test on Tuesday.
Moving on from that, I guess we'll do the old. Sam, do you have anything to bring to the table besides your charm?
I wanted to talk about Thor: Dark World for a minute.
Yeah.
Finally got to see it.
Poor Christopher Eccleston, man. Really? He got so fucked.
Finally made it around to Iron Man 2.
Oh man.
Oh, there was a bit of news about Chris Eccleston talking about Thor 2 Dark World. Like, I hated it.
He always does every couple months. You'll see a thing. It's like,
been there.
It's the worst experience of my life.
I think that's.
He was in
Eccleston.
He was in
Dark World.
He was
the
Dark World.
Yeah, he was.
I think that he seems like somebody he seems like an actor that hates acting though. Because every single story about stuff that's famous that he's in, he's like, yeah, it was awful. I hated it.
Although with the
Doctor Who was the worst. It was the worst. I hated it. It was awful. Yeah, Thor: Dark World. Yeah, terrible too. What else you're a fan of that I did?
It's like,
it was awful.
If I'm not a starving artist and can be like, people don't understand this, it's because it's trash.
Yeah, no, he just bitches.
With the Malekith ones, he was complaining. I remember reading about all the makeup and stuff he had to put on, but I do remember him saying, he's like, yeah, they filmed all this stuff about my background and my family and all this interesting stuff that developed the character, and none of it was in the movie.
How I just wanted my kids back.
No, but at least like I can understand that being frustrating. Like, I did all this stuff about my story, and then I'm just some guy.
It's like that story of I forget who it was that went to. What was what was that movie? Was it the Thin Red Line? The one about the Vietnam War, I think, with Adrian Brody might have been in it.
I have no idea.
Pianist.
Yeah, the pianist. No, but I mean any Terrence Malick movie, pretty much. Like where if you were
Sean Penn in Tree of Life.
If you were signed on as the lead actor to a fucking Terrence Malick movie,
no, you weren't.
Yeah, you're not going to be in any of the fucking movie. You're going to spend 3 months filming for something and then get cut out of all of it.
Yeah, but I just don't. I don't give any flack to any actor or anybody that's like, oh my god, like it was just like. The set, it was terrible. Like I just was putting on makeup for 8 hours. Like, well, when you were offered the job and you Googled the person you'd be playing and you saw that they were in fact blue,
dabba dee dabba die.
You weren't gonna act your way into
unless
that
you like
character.
motion capture this.
No, he just thought it was gonna be metaphorical. Like they were gonna switch it and he was metaphorically going to be.
Yeah,
it's gonna be real sad.
Why can't I just be a cloud?
I agree. Like he had to have been told that there's gonna be a lot of makeup involved when he signed on. Like
because you're playing an elf.
There's no way.
Non-humanoid.
And then even with Doctor Who too, it's like Doctor Who is one of the most popular British pop culture things. He was told he's going to be an alien thing. He can't come to set and be like, what? I'm a fucking alien, and it's stupid.
He was also on Doctor Who for
hilarious,
like 7.5 episodes.
Yeah, one season for the first season.
And
then he quit because he was like, this is dumb. I hate it. You're all terrible people.
Now he's pissed that he didn't stay on longer.
Well, he didn't come back. Apparently, he just hated his experience because he didn't come back for the anniversary episode.
Yeah, they just used old footage.
Did they invite him?
Yeah, and he was like, no.
See, that's the point. That's the point in time where you bring the guy into your office and be like, "Hey, what do you want to do, buddy?"
I honestly think I read that originally in the script, Stephen Moffat, which I mean we all know he's a tour de force as a writer. So Stephen Moffat wrote for the War Doctor. That was Christopher Eccleston's character.
Oh, nice.
And so then they had to change it like last minute.
I guess we'll just use who was it? John Hurt.
Yeah.
John Hurt and renumber, do the renumber and stuff to fit him in there. But yeah, he apparently the original script was. All three of them, and then he was like, "Hey, Christopher Eccleston, are you in?" He's like, "No, I don't want to do that shit." Stephen Moffat was like, "Oh fuck, I've got 200 pages that says you would."
Find and replace Chris, John, Eccleston, Hurt. Done.
It's a good thing they didn't go the other way because Hurt is more likely to come up in casual conversation. You really Ecclestoned me.
My feelings.
So moving on to our segment where we talk about news, movie.
News. It's movie news.
Movie.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go first on this one just to make sure. Netflix films have been banned from competing at Cannes.
And Steve has to come up with a new news thing.
That's weird.
Yeah. What do we think about that? So they can still be at Cannes, but they can't compete for awards.
So what's the reason?
So I'm not sure if
sounds like
I feel like
being butthurt.
It definitely is.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, like I read
they were worried
off the back of Spielberg saying they should not be eligible for Oscars.
They were worried about Christmas Prince just sweeping.
Yeah, I mean, looking over, I remember reading, and there wasn't really a clear-cut reason.
What? That makes it even worse. Like,
yeah,
at least provide some bullshit criteria or something.
I mean, it's the same reason why they had to change.
I know what it is. Theatrical release. They have to be theatrical releases.
Okay.
So same with the Oscars.
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
Just like why TV movies aren't going to be on there.
Yeah,
too.
But it's still.
Sounds
with
like
the changing climate of how people.
I just meant at least they provided a reason instead of
Yeah.
But Spielberg has already even said, he's like, those fucking films that come out for in 6 cities for 2 weeks, they shouldn't be eligible either.
Yeah. It's one of those things too where I mean the Grammys even changed up there because they used to be no streaming until Chance the Rapper came. Well, it had to be a on the market you had to sell it on the market for it to be eligible, but Chance just gives his shit for free and that they changed the rule so that he could be nominated, and he ended up winning some Grammy, I think.
Except the difference is that this board of people do not want to change it.
Yeah, exactly.
They were staunchly against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, old people, man.
That's interesting.
They suck.
Wow, dude. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say that.
That old people suck.
Yeah,
and that they don't understand.
Talk about hot takes. This podcast has been full of them. I thought it was parents that didn't understand.
Things right.
No, it definitely is
Us,
them too.
the youth.
Yeah. When we get old enough, we won't suck.
when we die early due to malnutrition.
Man, people our age will love us when we're old.
Well, yeah, you know what? We just get it.
Yeah, exactly. We understand. The old people now, they don't understand.
There will be no differences in that generation to ours.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm glad we're all on the same page.
Since Steve has to find a new articles, Charlie, what do you got?
So my news thing that I saw was that FX and Donald Glover parted ways for the Deadpool animated series.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say for Atlanta.
Which I always keep forgetting that it exists.
Yeah, I'm glad that that's not happening.
That's what I was about to say. It's also kind of like a thing I like. That I would have been interested to see what happens if we didn't already have the movies. But like somebody, I can't remember who commented saying a little goes a long way. It's like,
yeah.
All right, let's see.
We definitely don't need
But then I do wish, I hope it comes out what their differences were, because I'd like to see just why it happened.
It's current Donald Glover, so he probably wanted to make it a lot more like real and gritty and
they're like, this is TV,
not super.
Like Deadpool
not super
just wants
meta.
to kill himself and like
yeah. It's not about Deadpool. It's about Deadpool's manager and about how he wants to.
I think they wanted to make Deadpool with the executive producer Troy Barnes.
Yeah,
that's probably what they were more.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Somebody saw like an outtake reel of Donald Glover on Community, and they're like, "Hey, this guy's got chops. He's goofy. He can improv. Get him on."
In another world, I would have liked to have seen it.
They didn't watch the current FX show Atlanta and go, "Oh, maybe he's not so goofy anymore."
Or his comedy special where he's like, "That is not me. If that's why you're here, you should probably leave now."
Weirdo.
Yeah. That's I mean, Atlanta's good though. So I haven't watched any of season 2 yet. I don't know if you guys have, but
in Spider-Man though, holy shit. He looks like he
didn't try.
I could barely even understand what he was saying
I don't think he was trying. And then they made him Miles.
Yeah,
Miles' uncle or whatever. Which
wink.
I kind of hate because
I don't see that really manifesting.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I kind of hate it because it's like, okay, well, this is never going to mean anything, and also I can't see him playing that kind of character.
We are getting that animated movie.
Well, Miles was almost specifically created because. Well, for many things, but to me, it was created because Spider-Man was getting older, and you needed a new character to fill in that. Like, I'm a kid, I got to get my homework done, and there's this animal bad guy that's doing stuff. And Peter couldn't really do that anymore.
Very specifically animal bad guy.
No, exclusively animal bad guy.
Peter, I'm going back for my 5th doctorate. I got to get my homework done.
You can't do that with Peter, who is now playing that role.
Yeah, we've got
the animal bad guy.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, no, the problem is that he's insect bad guy. Well,
arachnid bad guy.
Thank you.
It's all very complicated.
All right, so no wacky Deadpool EP'd by Troy Barnes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're even going to still do it, or if they might just cancel it altogether.
Yeah, they are still happy to be working with each other on Legion.
It's probably for the best. I heard Legion's good.
Wait, who's working?
FX.
Oh.
Legion
is Donald Glover?
No. I think
they're saying the Marvel.
Okay.
Marvel
and FX or Fox or however that shit. Boils down is like we're still working on this. Don't you worry. It's good.
It's really weird to me that FX is like so buddy with Fox. Like you're telling me they're okay with working with one another. It's a weird. Yeah.
I'll look into it and report back.
As a matter of fact, they're
Sam. That's just Pokemon Go.
They're getting along so well together that Fox is considering taking out Dio.
Oh wow!
like in every like sitcom where like someone gets like way too friendly and just like starts like wearing the clothes of the other person. Just like, oh hey, what's up?
That's not how you guys do friendships. So Steve, what is your movie?
Well, since you so callously no, it's fine. What I'm going to talk about is another Steven Spielberg thing in that he's getting ready to
release Ready Player One.
No, he's writing and beginning the filming of Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Great.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like Indiana Jones. They're not bringing back Shia LaBeouf as his estranged child, which
too expensive.
Really?
Couldn't pull him.
He's just too busy. Too many fingers and too many pies.
Well,
that tennis movie he's about to be in looks good.
I don't know if I sent it to you guys, but there was actually an article recently where Kanye West came up to Shia LaBeouf and was like, he was like, hey, he's like, hey, can I like have some of your clothes for like an art project? And Shia LaBeouf was like, oh yeah, man, take whatever you need. And he was like, and he literally took all my clothes. And
just that situation.
Like Shia was like, wait, what the fuck, dude?
It's called art.
Like there's pictures of like Kanye West wearing a hat that Shia LaBeouf used to always wear. And Shia was like, he even took my fucking Indiana Jones hat.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I was like, well, that's kind of shitty. Like the one thing that like, well, fuck.
But to be completely honest, I didn't mind Shia LaBeouf as his son. Like I think I didn't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I think Kingdom of the Crystal Skull gets more flack than it deserves. Because,
I agree.
Because I mean, The Last Crusade is pretty bad. If we're being honest,
my favorite one.
That's the best one.
I really do like that one.
The best. That's the best one. Father and son have
right
sex
off.
with the same lady.
I really do like that. That's my favorite one.
Whatever.
That's the best one.
I'm not really a huge fan of Indiana Jones to begin with.
Clearly not a penitent man over here.
I think that the idea that people were so upset about the alien thing is very like, well, wait, because my dad is a huge Indiana Jones fan, and I remember he enjoyed it to an extent, and I was like, well, what about the aliens? And he was like, every single Indiana Jones movie has some supernatural element. He's like, they're all.
I mean, most people are just upset because they weren't Coneheads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they really wanted a Belushi to come back.
I think maybe what would have made it a little better is if they had like hinted that it was.
Yeah, well, it was.
If there would have been an illusion, like, is there something more to this? Is it not?
I think
instead of just like having these aliens
like
flying
aliens.
in a giant like carousel wheel, and like, whoa!
I think the worst part was just the
vines.
Well, the vines was pretty bad, but the worst part was just the whatchamacallit, the refrigerator. That part is probably the.
Or was the gopher that popped up right after the refrigerator?
Well, I mean, the gopher had to have been George Lucas's idea, and he was like, "We should have him talk."
That's why it wasn't in the theatrical release, only the Blu-ray release.
Yeah. Well, he was like, "We should have this gopher dance too."
It gets more flack than it deserves, but it is, again, I stick to my theory that you can tell a bad movie's bad when things that wouldn't normally bother you.
Yeah,
like,
but also
there were things in that movie that did bug you.
I think that we're in a climate as well where, and it's part of the point of this podcast,
shit on everything.
where people look at Rotten Tomatoes and they see that little green rotten symbol and they think, oh, this movie's shit, without ever seeing it, and then they'll go into the movie with the idea this movie's shit, so they have that mindset where things that wouldn't bother you normally are sticking out to you. So it's different than if you go in fresh. That stuff probably wouldn't have bothered you. But now that you're told, hey, this movie's bad, you're looking for things to be like, oh, man, that's fucking stupid. Look at that. And so I think that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had some of that because there was a lot of like, I mean,
people
there was
were
that
so
South
excited.
Park episode.
People were so excited
you mean the one
about
where
it
Spielberg
that, like,
was
everybody
raping Indiana Jones?
Yes.
I'll be honest though, the biggest part about this story that bothers me is that you hate Last Crusade.
I just don't think it's that good.
Oh man,
I don't like. I don't like
Temple of Doom's the one I don't really. I just don't remember that much.
I honestly don't really remember all
Temple
of them.
Okay.
I don't remember any of them that much, and I get Temple of Doom and the first one mixed up a lot.
That's just ridiculous.
And then Last Crusade, I remember because they take that raft off of that waterfall. Yeah. And that's about it. Sean Connery's in it, and I'm always like, man, this dude really like started out rough. I'm glad he got to the point where he peaked in Finding Forrester.
And spawned an entire meme website.
Yeah, that's true.
Did I just miss a joke?
Yeah,
I think I did.
You didn't.
Good one.
There's a movie called Find Forrester.
I know.
No, let's not back this all the way up.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's move on to.
I like when Sam's here.
Something I liked was Finding Forrester.
Did you have a movie news?
No.
Okay.
I'm the talent.
Steve, no, you're the ghoul.
Correct. What did I say?
The ghoulish talent.
So talented, it's scary.
Exactly.
You're welcome. Fifth grade
We already
jokes.
did all movie news, right?
Yeah, we did. Now we're going into stuff we actually like to do an old wrap up.
Yep.
Steve?
Something that I actually like is they're coming out with a Street Fighter TV show. And
really?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys
starring
know this,
Kristen Crook again as Chun-Li.
No, but it's from the same people that did the Machinima show, I believe, where it was very popular on YouTube and it did a lot of stuff. And I think they're doing the show that follows the Street Fighter 2 story arc.
Is Justin Theroux playing Ryu in this one?
No.
Yeah. Bummer.
Sorry. I apologize.
Do we know anything about it?
No, nothing.
Interest dropping.
It's been announced. They've pretty much confirmed Ryu, Guile, Chun-Li, and Bison. They haven't talked about anything else. But there's a lot of ground that you could cover. And one of the biggest problems with Street Fighter is figuring out the timeline of the games is a nightmare because despite the numbering, they do not go in order time-wise.
Sure.
So it's just a mess trying to figure out what's going on.
Who's your favorite character in Street Fighter?
In all of Street Fighter?
Sure.
Probably Dudley.
I don't know who that is.
Dudley is a British boxer.
He's the guy.
In one of his win poses, he drinks tea while wearing his boxing gloves, which is just delightful.
So has any comedian or rapper ever made a thing that ends with the punchline "Bye, son"?
Probably.
Okay.
No.
Oh, all right. Interesting. Charlie, do you weigh in?
I can't tell you one way or the other.
I know it's a travesty that we will not get a return performance of Raul Julia as Bison.
I don't need that. I just need a Zangief.
I mean, Zangief is fantastic with his fantastic story arc of learning how to pile drive from Hagar, the mayor of Earth. But he was practicing in the Russian highlands on bears when he was picked up by a cyclone. And then did it, and that's how he came up with the spinning pile driver.
I just liked him because he seemed like a really roided up USSR wrestler guy.
Reminded you of yourself.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I didn't know these games had stories.
I didn't either.
Blanca
honestly,
is a person.
Yes,
sure.
Kinda.
He was an orphan that was raised by electric eels.
Guys, moral of the story: orphans are people too.
Now I'm interested.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the story I want to see.
Was he
raised
by
eels,
electric
and
eels,
Tyler
or was he around electric eels?
It's a little dubious.
Kind of both.
Do the eels talk?
He does have a mother. Like he's not an orphan. Because I think he does have a mother.
Does one of the eels wear a monocle?
God, I hope so. Well, they take him to Ursula, and that's how he gets his powers.
Okay, there you go.
The worst part about all this is that everybody has a more interesting upbringing than Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Charlie, what do you actually like?
So I should have switched this. This should have been my movie.
Well, hold
news.
on, real quick. Is there a station that's going to be on, or a channel?
They haven't. I don't know.
It's just in development.
Yeah.
It's on GSN.
A station.
Yeah, like
stations?
like
Sure.
Oxygen.
Yeah.
Either
TLC.
Oxygen, WeTV,
Well, I mean,
Hallmark.
all right.
Just
Charlie,
the hits.
What do you like?
So
Charlie?
this is actually more movie news, and the Deadpool
what?
thing should have been something that I liked. So the thing I like, I guess, is that I think it could be hilarious, but also kind of disappointing and they could also not be true. But those
Captain Crunch isn't making a movie.
Those rumors about the Venom movie, the plot.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Wait, I don't know rumors about the plot. I know that there were rumors about like Venom actually not being in it, and Tom Hardy kind of
break down most of the plot, and it doesn't sound very good. And also, I mean,
can you give us a quick
sure. So he did some crime to help his family, and then his family got taken away from him, and he got drunk, passed out, and the meteor landed right next to him, and that's when the symbiote crawled out, and then the government tries to track him,
and then
they use his family.
Streets.
They use his family against him, and they said that whenever the symbiote starts acting up, his veins turn black, and then he's just like stronger, so he can just flip cars and stuff. And there's a big car chase. That's about it. And then he can.
So he never actually full.
Hold on. So he does the occasional tendril outside of him, which are just like almost Doc Ock arms, and he forms a shield on his arm that he blocks some bullets with. And that's the most of the symbiote you see for most of the movie. And then,
the stinger is that he's in the suit.
No, he gets to the final battle, and they said that like he sees another symbiote. Like, I don't know, it's just the ooze, and then he turns full Venom for like 2 minutes.
So
I've heard something similar to that.
This is very shocking to me that a standalone Venom movie is apparently not good.
News at 11.
To me, it's just like it's gonna be hilarious if they don't get that people want to see Venom.
You got to keep it grounded.
So
dude.
this is.
Well, they say it might be because budget reasons.
So Sony did this one, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand what's confusing to you about them not getting what audiences want to see.
It's not surprising. It's just like, holy shit.
Keep in mind that it's based off of an alien symbiote that is exactly the way that it is because of its disdain for Peter Parker.
As a general audience member, I'm already confused.
And it sounds like they're gonna have it be the armor Venom, which that's an interesting concept. No, dude, I want to see the huge.
Yeah, you want to see gorilla Venom.
Yeah, so
but that's the thing is you're not going to get that based on what this is. My biggest problem that I had with it was Tom Hardy's pretentious ass tweet about it. Did you actually read it?
Which one? There's tons of them.
It was just the biggest, the last one that I saw that wrote when people were like, "There's not going to be Venom in this at all," and he's like, "Speculation and rumors usually come from amateurs who know not of what they speak." I was like, "Oh, dude, you not that good."
Off.
And also him addressing it concerns me more. Not that I really give a fuck about the movie anyway, but
yeah. So Sam, do you have something that you like? Besides Pokemon Go?
Not Tom Hardy right now. He's good, but what a jerk.
Yeah.
And also it sounds just so generic.
All right.
I'm a criminal, and I gotta earn back the right to my family.
I feel like stuff like that, though, if you read it out, it always is going to sound generic. Or if you summarize it like that, it's going to be hard to, especially in action.
Yeah, I can see that, but
it's.
But
for something that already had
to lose.
But Tyler, it's different for this because this has an established background character story.
Very much so.
Like.
That shouldn't be hard to do and is a big enough character that it would merit its own trilogy.
So you don't, Sam, you don't have something that you want to mention, something that you actually like?
Nope.
Okay, well then moving on to me. So guys, mine's kind of a two-part thingy here. I actually like that we've been doing this for about 2 years now.
Nice.
We have been doing this for about 2
years this
now.
episode will come out. We're probably going to be recording our next episode on the actual anniversary of our first episode releasing.
Sweet.
But I didn't want to bring this up during a full.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
Carry on.
Oh, because it's Easter.
Right.
Yeah, maybe
You're
not.
You're selling your shares, aren't you? You son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's what I actually like. I'm making.
Trade them all to you for the sandwich.
That's a nice little foreshadowing to something else in the future, Steve. Good job. The thing that I wish that I had right on me right now to give to you guys, but I'll have it by the time I see you guys next, but I didn't want to bring it on a full episode because I feel like we're already doing so much, is this 3D printed little logo,
sweet.
the Movie Versus logo.
That'd be cool.
It's going to be
nice.
a 3D printed little
logo?
just a little it's not going to be anything
belly button tassel.
It's not going to be anything huge
Yeah,
or
sure.
anything. It's just going to be a little
5 foot by like 3.
When I get them, I'll probably be getting get them tomorrow at work because my coworker has a 3D printer, and so
I'll put that on my desk at work.
Worked with Scott, the guy who designed the logo, to get the right file to be able to just pretty much put into Tinkercad, and so that this guy at work could print this for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll post it on the socials when I get it, so that the listeners can see it. Which so that's gonna be a gift to you guys. And I like that we've been doing this for 2 years. We've been keeping strong.
Yeah.
Unlike some other podcasts, I don't.
Wow. Rude.
What?
What's even better is, as you were saying that, Sam was just spinning the camera on Pokemon Go wildly.
Well, I know that Sam. I know that you're here as a ghost of the podcast now, but I did hear that you also returned because your one man show was just so many rave reviews of your D Wars Dragon Wars one man show.
Yeah,
are you moving on? Or are you going to start
another one?
I
show called like Pixelated, and it's just like a strong.
No, too clever for me. I've gotten 3 positive Yelp reviews about the show, and only 1 negative one, which I immediately called Yelp and had taken down.
That's interesting because you've only performed it in front of your family.
And it's interesting that Yelp does reviews of shows.
They do. It's an underground thing. It's you wouldn't understand if you're not a true artist.
That's true.
So
me
you're
and
just
Tom Hardy mostly.
So you're just refining your one man show of D
Yeah,
Wars.
just you know.
You don't want to branch out into any other maybe Jason Burr projects or
not yet.
Gotta build the base audience.
Looking at your notes, I do see that you have some ideas for the entirety of Roswell one man show.
I'm waiting for the remake to flop, and then
then you strike.
Guys, I had the solution all along.
Me.